Welcome to HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarlane, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Very good to see you.
It's good to see you too. How long has it been?
Well, you were on vacation, so we had to pivot a little bit last week, but it's been a week or so, or however many. That doesn't matter. We're here.
I know, it was good.
And you're back to your. It must be. I could tell it's vacation first day back because an exceedingly late work break, Trish. Some of us maybe couldn't wait for the work break to get over to decide it is actual happy hour. That's a rumor I've heard about some of the participants on this show.
And you know what? So let me tell you, it was funny because I had watched all the other episodes while I was out. So thank you. Huge thanks to both Madeline Lorano and Karen Hunter for filling in for me. They did an awesome job. I was thoroughly entertained. I laughed numerous times. No, I was off hiking in the mountains and doing all sorts of mountainous things. And so it didn't get to watch your Friday show until today. And it was all about the drinks and this and that. And I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time for happy hour almost.
Yeah.
I want to participate too. It's not
what
Friday.
Do you got? Tell us what you got there. That looks awesome.
So this is a drink that that I met this. I'm really friendly, if you haven't noticed, and I met this great bartender, Jessica, at a little bar in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I kind of told her, hey, just surprise me. Do you ever do that when you walk into a bar? Like people are like, oh, what would you like?
I don't know if I've ever done that, but I get.
Here's why you should. Because you'll come up with drinks you would have never ordered, never heard of. You know, my go-to is like a Tito's and tonic if I'm just, or, you know, a Kettle One tonic, something like that. It's like vodka tonic's my thing, and it's out of pure boredom. So anyway, she made me, it was a Jeremiah Weed iced tea, but I don't have Jeremiah Weed, which, you know, is a bourbon. Are you familiar with that one?
I'm not, but bourbon I am familiar with. I've heard that.
Number one, Jeremiah Weed, I think as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a bourbon person, but I'm buying that. It was amazing. But what I did have today is my Wild Turkey American Honey, which
there you go.
I am sad to say is almost to the end, right? So take a little bit of your, you know, a shot worth or however much more you need of your favorite bourbon and put that with some iced tea, water, and you can barely see it under the ice. I've got orange floating in there, right? So it's a nice, light, summery iced tea. It's almost like a watered down iced tea and then that little bourbon.
So yeah, if you watched the Friday show, then you saw Madeline made this great fruity concoction with vodka that looked really awesome and summery. And I sort of a little homage to you, and I know you're a fan of the vermouth. I went to the Negroni card, which is really delicious and super simple to make. So that was actually a really fun show. So cool. And so I heard there was a random Monday happy hour show. And it is very late. It's almost 6 p.m. here on the East Coast. I grabbed a beer out of the fridge. I don't know how this beer even got there, but it's a Czech beer. It's called Pilsner Urquell. It's a Pilsner from Czechoslovakia. It's quite good.
Really?
Yeah, so highly recommend.
Very good. Well, listen, it's not a show just about drinks, although I do think that's fun. And I would say if anyone out there...
It's becoming one, Trish, the way things are going.
I know. It's a pandemic. All bets are off, right? No, seriously. I love when people share what their favorite drinks are, too. So please comment, message us, tell us your favorite drinks. I would love to try some new ones. And, you know, I can surprise myself now that I'm back home and I don't have like a bartender to go to help me out.
There you go.
I did come home to a really interesting purchase I made, and I wanted to share with you and everyone else. And I want to tell you, do you ever have those moments, Steve, where you just realize like you are a full-on adult?
No, but I probably need to have more of them. But I get where you're coming from.
So I had an adult moment, and I didn't even think it would be one, which makes it even worse in my mind. Because I don't know if I still feel like I'm 18 or something most of the time, I guess, in my head. So I was gone, and I'm thinking like, you know, I'm out there hiking around the world, and I'm thinking about things, and I thought, you know what, I don't do enough reading anymore. I don't. I know you are a voracious reader.
I need to do more though. I did read a lot this past weekend, but go ahead, continue with your story.
So we were talking with Cecile Alpere LaRue the other day, just about some books that were impactful, and we're talking about sociology, and you know, that was my major, and I really hadn't done much lately on reading anything sociological and written. I mean, lately in the last few years, not specifically. And I thought, so I went on Amazon and I found this book, which I think you would probably like. It's called Bowling Alone. Are you familiar with that book?
I have heard of the book, but not read it. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be a really good one. Yeah.
Robert Putnam. And I will not read you all the back of it, but just the one sentence, which kind of sums it up, which is, drawing on vast new data that reveal Americans' changing behavior, Putnam shows how we have become increasingly disconnected from one another and how social structures, whether they be PTA, church, or political parties, have disintegrated.
Wow.
So it's all about culture and just how
Yeah, that sounds excellent.
And I know you're into that too. So anyway, but here's where the adulting part comes in. You ready? So I buy this book because I'm thinking like, oh, that sounds really interesting, right? Or I'm into culture and social and all that. So I buy this book, and it's a textbook, really. I have bought
a
book.
A lot of footnotes. Yeah, no, that's when you struggle a little bit. Tiny print.
No,
like the larger print.
So my reading of choice is now.
No, do it. Read it.
Textbook level stuff.
So it's funny you mentioned that, the synopsis of that book, and it reminds me, and I'm going to talk about it because I just kind of peeked underneath my laptop here. You know, we're doing the whole thing with the video things and all the calls to try to get better lighting and everything. And no one likes that look up from the camera straight up someone's nose. So we've got we've got the laptops raised up, and I've got a pile of books underneath the laptop, like probably a lot of people do. Trish, one of the books hoisting my laptop up in the sky.
I know
is Alone Together by Sherry Turkle, who we reviewed on the podcast forever ago. But it's the book's kind of along that same vein about how technology has really changed how we interact with each other, our expectations of each other, the way we sort of interact with some of these societal structures. I should probably reread the book because it was so impactful. And honestly, still, if you dig back in the HR Happy Hour archives, one of the very best shows we've ever done. So
tweet that show back out, would you? So we can.
I'll have to dig it out of the archives. It was a long time.
Give it a reread, Steve, and then maybe we have her back on, because I really think during these times it's just interesting about.
She's probably written some other books too. I should take a look into that. So, that's awesome, Trish. Well, tell me how that is. I might have to maybe acquire it myself. And
I'll send it to you.
We're doing we do the Workplace Movie Hall of Fame series on the podcast. Maybe we need to do the Workplace Book Hall of Fame someday on the podcast.
We could.
That might be interesting.
Well, it's called The Collapse and Revival of the American Community. So
all right,
yeah,
I like it. That sounds spinning a little hopeful.
As you're talking about what props up your computer, here's what I'd be interested in. What does everybody else have propping up their computer? What does that really say about you? Because you've got that. I'm looking. You want to know what's propping up mine? I'm having to tilt it to see.
Go ahead. Let me hear.
I have John Grisham, The Innocent Man. I have 2 paintings that my daughter did, like little canvases.
Okay.
And then, wait, I'm going to take it out of here so I can see what it is for sure. It's a photo album. It's an old photo album. Okay, wait, it's an old photo album.
Nice.
Oh, sweet. It's from college. It's my, okay, I'm going to embarrass myself here. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can show these. Oh, it's got my high school prom photos in here. No.
There you go. Yeah, that's probably a good use for those kinds of older photos.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So
I'll show you one picture. This is Trish in, I think I was 18, 19 maybe. College, 18. There we go. There. This is me. Well, oh, that's not me. This is me.
There you go. Yeah. Very nice.
Look at that hair. That's my college roommate, Carrie Bachman. I love her.
It's so funny. I remember, and I said I don't think we ever talked about it on the show, but a couple of years ago now, I guess it was maybe last year when I was moving, and I had unearthed a box, my old box I've been toting around for years and years that my parents put together for me.
Right.
Here's a box of your crap that we don't want anymore, but you might want to carry it around. So it was all that kind of high school and some college stuff and some memorabilia. And in that box was a videotape, an old-fashioned VHS tape of one of me playing basketball in high school. It had been on television and years ago. So I managed to get it digitized and I got a digital version of it, which I sent to a couple of people. I sent it to you. I think you might have watched it for 2 seconds and then
It was funny.
laughed for uncontrollably. So somewhere I have a couple of things like that. Under my laptop still is just other books. So it's just
no photo albums.
No, the most interesting one, other than Alone Together, is I have the graphic novel treatment of Watchmen as well underneath my computer, which was one of my favorites from a long time ago.
Nice.
Trish, I had one thing real quick I wanted to mention though before we duck out today.
Right.
Huge news in the world of popular music today, Trish. I don't know. I know you've probably been busy. I don't know if you caught it.
No.
There's a new all-time leader in top 10 charted hits. Most solo artist, most top 10 charted hits in the United States. New leader just kind of happened.
Right.
Do you know who that person might be? It's got the most top 10 hits.
Beyonce.
That person is Drake, Trish, who has apparently now 40 top 10 hits. He just passed Madonna, who he was tied with.
And this is in America.
This just happened. Yeah, it's 38.
And it's now held by, he's Canadian.
Well, but I think the chart is. You're digging into technicalities here. But here's why I bring it up, Trish. I saw the headline. I didn't read the article. I'm very confident I could not name the title of a single Drake song. I mean, even if you had a gun to my head and said, "Tell me the name of a Drake song," I don't think I could do it. I think that I'd fail.
I think you probably know a bunch, but you don't know the name.
I don't know the names of any of them, and I'm not certain I know a bunch.
I think you do. I
only know Drake from a guy who sits on at the sideline of basketball games and watches them. I don't know him from any other.
Or Hotline Bling. I've played with feet before. Oh, it's gonna
I do not.
It'd take too long to play. Anyway, so all right, we're gonna have to educate you on some Drake music.
So he's your new top 10 leader, Trish, in the clubhouse. With 40. I don't think Madonna's gonna catch him either. I think the Madonna days of cranking out top 10 hits are probably over.
Probably over. You know what I mean? I think I'm good with Drake though. He's fine. I'm good with Drake. I like Drake music. My kids play it a ton, so I hear it a ton. I think.
Well, there you go. That's probably how you know. I don't have
one thing for today.
Sure.
I was extremely impressive to my daughter today because I don't know if you were ever a soap opera person. Did you watch soap operas? I mean, it was kind of a thing back in the
Yeah, it's a longer story for another day, but in college it was a thing for a little while. Yeah.
What were your go-to soaps? Because
only one.
If you're an NBC guy, are you like a Dave's Our Lives guy?
General Hospital.
Whoa.
That was the one.
Okay, I'm shocked.
So go ahead, tell the soap opera story.
I'm just going to say, like, for anybody who's listening, you probably, either your parent, mom, grandma watched them. If you were in high school, college, you might have watched them back in the day. It was, I think, a bigger thing than it is now. But I feel like everybody kind of aligned with a certain channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
A certain network. So, I actually had watched that show a little bit. So I know some of the major characters because they had Rick Springfield as Dr. Noah Drake. And they also had John Stamos as Blackie Parrish.
Okay. The General Hospital, the one that I claimed to
General
watch.
Hospital. Yeah,
okay.
They did. But I was more of a CBS girl. And so Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful and Esmeralda, but especially Young and the Restless. And it was funny. So right now, because of the pandemic, all of the soaps that still remain on are not able to film daily. And so they're playing all these ones from years ago.
Oh, classic soap. Okay. Classic
soaps. And so they're playing some random episode, from 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And Carly's like, "What is this you're watching?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is Victor Newman. And here's what Victor does."
And so you can tell her the backstory of these characters from the early 90s or whenever it was on. Yeah.
I want to just say, I think it's odd that if you ask me what I did 3 days ago to truly tell you what I did, I have zero recollection, most likely. But yet, if you ask me to go back 25 years to a specific episode of Young and the Restless and name off.
Yeah.
Steve, I listed off 10 characters, first and last names and how they were all related.
That's pretty good. I wouldn't be able to do that. I did watch General Hospital on the dorm that 1 year. I couldn't recall anything specific about it probably, but I did. I know we're way too late. We'll talk about this tomorrow, but we need to tease this. Big Brother is coming back All-Star season. It is happening. We'll need to cover that this week on the show.
Okay. All right. We'll talk more tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, as always, for listening in. We love all the comments, questions, and messages. So we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.